Hi guys. First and foremost, I just want to say before I start this word, if you see anybody in the comment section telling you to contact them, giving you a number, or telling you to write them, these are scammers, okay? I do not come in the comment section and give people my phone number, yet alone my WhatsApp number, none of that. The people who have my WhatsApp number are those who I have coaching sessions with who are overseas, okay? Everyone that's in the US, I call from my regular number. You will never see me on YouTube ever posting my phone number in the comment section or telling you, hey, call me. You will never see that. These are scammers, okay? Do not fall for these traps. Because I've seen people email me saying, Steph, I lost your number. You gave it to me on YouTube, things like that, and I didn't. These are scammers, okay? They stopped for a little bit and then they came back, okay? So be careful with that. There was something else I wanted to say, but I guess I'll talk about that next time. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. It was something short, like a short announcement or whatever. Anyways, on to the word. I just want to say that, oh yeah, that's what it was. Woo, God reminded me of it quick. I just wanted to say that this word is not for everybody. It may not resonate with you now. Actually, it is for everybody, but it may not resonate with you now. It may resonate with you later on. So it's still going to be beneficial even for those who may not resonate with it now, because when you come back and you listen to it, it will make sense to you later on when you're in this position, okay? But there's a group of people who are in this position now, and I just want to say congratulations. Yesterday, God gave me a word, and he said, congratulations, you made it. You made it. Some of you guys are like, I didn't make it, God. I'm still in the same position. I'm still... You're looking around you, and you're focused on the external and the drama that's going on, the warfare and everything. You're like, how did I make it? You made it. Congratulations. Many of you guys, what you don't understand is your problems are not the same problems you've had in the past. As you move forward in your life, problems change. Your battles become different. New levels, new devils. You know, if you're on level 1 in the Super Mario game, and then you have to fight the boss in order to get to level 2, the boss in level 1 is not going to be the same boss in level 2. The boss in level 2 is going to be at a higher place. It's going to be a little bit harder. Level 2 is not going to be as easy as level 1. Once you get to level 10 in Super Mario, the boss is a lot more harder to defeat. The level is not even as easy as level 1 or 2. It's a lot harder, right? It's the same thing with life. Elevating in life, moving up in life. You'll have more problems, but you'll have different types of problems. It won't be the same problems you had back in the day. Like back in the day, you may have had certain fights, certain struggles, certain problems, certain obstacles. But the obstacles that you have now are not the same. They're different obstacles, right? And the reason why God said, congratulations, you made it, I had this big smile on my face. Because when I heard it, it was like a sense of relief. It was like a sense of relief when I got the word. And just now when I was at my appointment, right, I got the word again. Like, it's like he was reminding me of it. And I had this big smile on my face. I'm trying to hide it. And everyone's looking at me like, okay, why is she smiling like that? But the reason why he said, congratulations, you made it, is because what God is saying is the struggles, the problems that you had back then are different from the problems you're having now. And you are at a whole nother level. God also wants you to know that it's only going forward here on out. It's only moving forward here on out, not going backwards. Okay? As in, you're not going back to what you were used to in the past. You're not going back to the problems you had in the past. Everything has changed. You're on a whole nother level now. And you're on a whole nother level, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and wisdom-wise. Listen, people always say, once you have access to the spirit, once you have access to the spiritual realm, once you understand the truth behind everything, you're not going to go back to putting on a veil. You're not. It's going to be so hard for you to go back and put on a veil. Remember before when you had no idea what the spiritual realm was? You had no idea what warfare was. You didn't even know what you were fighting. You just knew that you were going through certain things. You had no idea about the people that were trying to block you. You had no idea about the witchcraft that was being done to you. You had no idea about certain things in your life, the past relationships you're in. You had no idea about narcissism. Once you received wisdom on a lot of things, it helped you improve your life. It helped you improve yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So now you can't go backwards. You can't unlearn the things that God has taught you. Okay? You can unlearn certain habits, patterns, and behaviors in order to, like, things that you may have consumed while being, you know, at a specific place or around certain people or relating to like a generational curse or cycle or whatever. You could unlearn that stuff when it comes to characteristics and stuff, but you can't unlearn the wisdom that God has given you. You get what I'm saying? You can't unlearn the wisdom. It's up to you to choose to apply it to your life, but you can't unlearn it. God says there's no going backwards after this. Okay? It's only moving forward here on out. As in the changes that has happened in your life, they're here to stay. And he's talking about the positive changes. Okay? Because let me tell you something. Oof, Holy Spirit, I love you. When he showed it to me, here's how you'll know this is your word. This is how you know it's your word. Because the enemy is tricky. What he likes to do is he likes to wait. See, listen, you're in a position right now, whatever position you're in, even if you're not where you want to be, you're better than where you were before. Right? One. That's how you'll know this word's for you. Because you're better than where you were before. Even though you're not where you want to be, you're better than where you were before. Okay? 1. 2, you keep having dreams for some reason of the past, as in like you being in a childhood home, you being in a childhood school, you being somewhere that confirms you being in that same mentality that you were in before, having the same characteristics as before, being in the same environment as before. And these were things from your past that was not good. These are things that you broke free from. These are characteristics and traits that you broke free of. Okay? This was around a time where you had no wisdom about the friends that you had in your life. You had no wisdom about the fake friends. You had no wisdom about the fake relationship. You had no wisdom about that man or that woman using you. You had no wisdom about the witchcraft. You had no wisdom about narcissism. You had no wisdom about this type of stuff. So back in the day, it was easier for you to sit and consume all this because you didn't know what was going on in the spirit. You didn't know anything. So you're having dreams about being in that same position that you were in back then, having that same mentality, being in that same environment, being around the same people. Why are you having dreams like this? A lot of times people say when you have dreams of this, it's an indication that you're stagnant in your life and that you're not moving forward. And in some cases, yes, but in this case, no. But if you know that you're not in the same place you used to be in, you have wisdom from God that you can't unlearn because God has shown you certain things, right? How could you go back to something like that in the past? How could you go back to that type of mentality? How could you go back to being clueless about something that you've already learned? You can't go back to being clueless about something you've already learned. You can't unlearn the wisdom that God has given you. You can't. Okay, you can't unlearn it. Even if you choose to ignore the wisdom that God has given you, and let's just say you choose to go back into a toxic friendship or relationship, right? You're not going to forget what you know, what God has already taught you. So you'll never be able to go back to that place of being blindsided, of not knowing something when it has already been taught to you, right? So the point of me saying this is so many of you guys who are having these dreams like that, the reason why you're having dreams like that is because the devil is trying to make you think that you're going to go back to that position that you're in the past that you fought so hard to get out of. Not only that, but the reason why you're having these dreams also is because the witchcraft that these people have tried to do in your life was to try to get you to go backwards into that lifestyle. It's because that's what they were hoping, and they were praying. Not all prayer is good. They were hoping, but they were praying for your downfall, and they were praying that you would lose everything and get back to that type of position. I'm going to give you an example, okay? I know what God is trying to show me. I just have to, God, how am I going to articulate this in words for everybody? So when you start having certain dreams like this, like where you're, let me give an example. An example is, let's just say that you're used to live in this really bad area, okay, that you were maybe on assistance, or maybe that you were homeless, maybe you didn't have any money, whatever it is, okay, and you, at the time, you were around a lot of toxic people, and let's just say that they may have even been doing drugs, okay, and you were doing drugs too. So let's just say that you fought all these years to get out of that. You went back to school, right? You're no longer doing drugs, and you finally have a nice successful business, or let's just say you finally have a nice career, and you know, you're doing better than where you were. You're not where you want to be yet, but you're doing better than where you were. Your lifestyle changed. Now you have a little bit more money, but you have more problems because you have more money. So your bills are a little bit higher, expenses are higher, but the problems that you have now are not the same problems you had back then. The warfare may still be a little bit the same, but it may be a little bit more intense because as you leveled up and as you went from level to level, the boss in the levels have changed. Like I said, the Super Mario analogy, the boss in the level has changed. So the boss in level 1 is not the boss in level 2. The boss in level 2 is a little bit more stronger than the boss in level 1. So now you have a more intense battle being at level 10. So now let's just say that your battles are not the same. They're more intense now, but you have different type of battles now than you did before, right? And let's just say now that you're having these dreams of being back at those places, being on drugs again, being around these toxic people, and you wake up from your dream and you start panicking because you're like, God, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to that lifestyle. I don't want to go back to these people. I don't want to go back to that. And you have a bit of anxiety and fear now. And let's just say that you've been taught that if you have dreams like that, that's an indication that you're stagnant in your life, but you're not, because you're going to work every day. You're going to work on time every day. You're not on drugs anymore. You pray every day. You're still getting your paychecks every week. How is that you being stagnant if you're dreaming about that? So if that's what that dream meant, how are you stagnant in your life if you're doing everything good, right? That's the point. It does not, that means because the dream is not indicating that you're currently stagnant. What the dream is indicating is that there's people trying to get you back to that level. And that's why they do the witchcraft, is because they're trying to get you back to that level, right? They're trying to get you back to that level. And what happens is the devil will utilize that moment to try to bring anxiety and fear into you, so then you can start, being discouraged, and then you want to give up, then you want to be sad. It's all a mental game. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all a mental game. It's like, this is what they do. This is what they do. This is what the kingdom of darkness does. And this is what the devil gets his people to do. It's all a mind game, right? The dream is also just a confirmation that that's where they want you to be. They want you to be back at that level. But the reason why God says, congratulations, you made it, is because what God is trying to let you know is that you are not going back to what you were used to. You're not going back to what you knew, because you're now moving forward. It's only moving forward from here, because what he has taught you, what he has given you, the access to him, the Holy Spirit, that cannot be unlearned. Like, you are going to consistently move forward, because now you have something you never had back then. What you have now is access, because the door has been fully open for you, where back then the door wasn't open. Back then you had to look for the door in order to knock on it in the first place. You are in that door already. Do you get where I'm coming from? So you cannot move backwards, is what he's trying to say. It's only forward from here. So if you're having these dreams now and they're coming out of the blue, it's a scare tactic. It's a tactic to throw you off. It's a distraction. It's to make you be discouraged, to try to trap you into feeling like you're moving backwards, in order for you to be not as ambitious, not as go-getting, not as positive as you are now. Do you get what I'm saying? But you can't unlearn the things that you know about the spirit. And in the spiritual realm, you can't unlearn the wisdom that God has given you. Do you see what I'm saying? You can't unlearn that. And that's something that you have that you never had back then. You can't go anywhere other than forward now. Okay? So, whew, God is saying, congratulations, you made it. Okay? Let me give you another example. It's like the video game analogy. Now that you completed all those levels on Super Mario 1, let's just say that. Even if you went back and replayed all those levels again, the wisdom that you have is not the same wisdom you had when you first started. Do you get where I'm coming from? So it's not going to be the same experience like the first time you played it, right? Because you have a whole different sense of wisdom now, right? It's the same concept. So now you may end up going to a whole nother level, and you may just say, okay, instead of me playing Mario 1 again, I'm going to go look for Mario 2 that has level 1 to 10 all over again to start from scratch. So what God is saying is you can't go backwards with everything that he has taught you and all the wisdom that he's given you and the access that she's given you. The door is open. And these people are mad. They're upset and they're mad. And this is why a lot of people from your past who were around you when you went through a lot, when you were not on the right path, when you did not have this type of wisdom, that's why a lot of them are trying to come in and ease their way back in your life, because they thought if they eased their way back in your life, they were going to receive some sort of shortcut to receive what it is that you have. They thought you were going to be the shortcut. And it didn't work out that way. They thought they could skip levels through you, and it didn't work out that way. But that's why you see a lot of them trying to come back in. And that's why the devil's trying to send a lot of them back in, right? But it's not going to work. And the people that were doing witchcraft on you, trying to bring you back to that position, or trying to keep you in that position in the first place, because they couldn't keep you there. You've already surpassed these levels. They couldn't keep you there. They can't get you back there. So they're mad. They're mad. God said, congratulations, you made it. You made it's only moving up from here. And even if you have a couple days where you're set back, a week where you're set back, a month where you're set back, it does not matter, because you're never going to go back to where you used to be. You're never going to be able to unlearn the wisdom that God has given you. You're never going to be able to unlearn what you know about the Spirit. Do you get where I'm coming from? God says, congratulations, you made it. It's only moving forward from here. Someone's confirmation. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.